Okay, so I'm watching a chick talk about Galadriel, and we need to have a conversation. The woman I'm watching is Hey Viv. Not very many views, but it's the video that inspired this. So this woman has obviously watched the Lord of the Rings movies and read the Lord of the Rings books, but has never read the Silmarillion and doesn't get what they're doing, I guess, because this is what they're doing with Galadriel. She said point blank, in the Lord of the Rings, she was a powerful wizard. And like they completely depowered this character, and now she's just a girl with a sword. Bitch, that was 2,000 years ago. Flat out. Like that these stories are 2,000 years before the other one. She is starting to develop her powers. You get that, like, this is like a kind of a Jedi thing, and like she is at, you know, episode 1 Luke Skywalker right now. Maybe even a little further than that. Okay? Sorry, episode 4, I guess. I forget that episode 1 is now episode 4. Anyway, it's not depowering her. We're in the past. That's insane. And as far as making her a military commander, Galadriel was the Queen of Lorien. The Lady of the Woods. She wore a ring of power. She was the fucking one that created that realm for the elves to exist. Okay? That's very fucking powerful. No one starts out that powerful. She was the second most powerful character in those Lord of the Rings movies that you liked. Okay? She is now, too. When she jumped off that fucking boat, it was one of those, well, she's gonna probably swim back to fucking shore, I guess, because she's not gonna die. That's, not just plot armor, but like her character or whatever, Sorry, I'm used to like hiding my fucking chest. I don't know what to do with my hands. I can't get behind this. Like, the character in Lord of the Rings was a very good female character, because that was a powerful, like, grandmother at her peak abilities, wielding like the voice of God and shit. And like, this is teenage bitch that had her brother die and now she's out for blood. She's probably going to have some character development in 2,000 years, would be my guess. I think a lot of people don't get that, like, at least I'm hoping they don't compress all of this and whatever. Like, there's some of this that they're going to have to, like, rearrange timelines and compress a little bit, because, like, Tolkien never made sense of it himself. The stuff that they're dealing with is stuff that Tolkien never fucking went into, really. And it's virgin territory. It's not like, oh, he told us all about young Galadriel, and she was a lovely handmaiden who was a wafy wench and never did anything in her fucking life. Nope, not what he said. If anything, that's what he said. It was like, she was an elf. She was one of the Noldorin. Like, they were all fighters. Every one of them, man, woman, and whatever. They were fighting orcs. Like, I think this is something people don't get about the olden days. Like, I read the Silmarillion. Go read that. You'll understand why she's the way she is. She's a product of the First Age. The First Age was fucking crazy. They gave you a peek of it with the dragons and the fucking pile of skulls. That wasn't one thing. They told you flat out that lasted 300 years. Okay? Like, That was 300 years of dragons and shit. That's why she's the way she is. She needs a break. But when she killed the troll, everyone's like, oh, they're just making her Mary Sue. Blah, blah, blah. Dude, she survived the first age and is now commanding a fucking thing or whatever, which I think that's one of those. I don't think Tolkien ever said one way or the other. Because, like, most of what he says about the first age is about the heroes of the first age, and Galadriel really wasn't. And to my knowledge, and maybe making her a hero of the first age so she makes more sense. If that's what they did, then rocking. I'd have to go back and look into her character specifically more. But here's my thing: is I don't remember her in the Silmarillion at all. But if she was a commander of this far-off unit hunting for Sauron, you wouldn't have heard about her in those books. Sauron was barely mentioned in that book, like until you got to the War of the Ring, which was just like so what was this event that caused the thing to happen, like it was not. That book has sections, and like there's the first age, like the second age has several sections in it, and one of them is the War of the Ring. This is where it kind of jumps around, and Tolkien told this much book for 2,000 years. There's quite a bit to fill in the blanks of. I think they're doing a pretty decent job. I really like what they're doing with Galadriel thus far. They are setting her up to become the character that she becomes eventually. I've already seen glimpses of that. Whoever does their foreshadowing is either really good or not good at all, depending on what you want. Like, I read it like a book. I can see where this is going. If you'd like to know more, watch my review. I ruined the whole thing in that. There's big twists that I already know happening. Spoiler alert, from here on, turn the video off. The guy that crashed in the comet, that's Sauron. The kid with the sword is the elf's half-human son with what's-her-face, and he's going to be somebody, but I don't know what that is. But, like, they teased that or whatever. I think that's their son. That's my guess. The Sauron one is 100%. I could explain that, but I don't feel reason to. Like, I know shit about the Tolkien universe. That's Sauron, the deceiver. We're gonna see him deceive. This bitch said in the review, she said in the review that the rings aren't even there yet. So War of the Rings, I don't know what's going on. I'm like, that's Sauron that crashed to Earth. He's going to be picked up by the elves eventually, and they're going to think that he's like Gandalf. Everybody's going to think he's like Gandalf, including you. But he ain't exactly Gandalf. And he teaches them to make rings, and then he spirits away to fucking where those elves are showing up in the Southland. That becomes Mordor. Some shit went down there. That's where this story's going. As far as why she went out into the ocean, that's because they need to go to Numenor. Because the Numenorians are like they're Atlanteans. They're the Gondorians. They become them. They're, Aragorn's people. In fact, Aragorn's ancestors come from this. They come over to fight. And they end up building kingdoms and shit afterwards. And it's this whole thing. That's what we're about to watch. We're about to watch Sauron forge the rings. Aragorn's ancestors get on boats and come to fight with the elves and like a whole bunch of other shit like that. We're going to see the sinking of Numenor. This is going to be a great show. It is not probably going to be 100% accurate to Tolkien, but I don't think Peter Jackson was 100% accurate to Tolkien. That's the thing that really annoys me is you guys act like those movies are like the gospel because you saw those movies before you read the books. Tom Bombadil was not in the fucking Fellowship of the Ring at all. And Tom Bombadil held the ring in his hand, put the ring on, It did nothing. He laughed, and he wore it the rest of the day, and then gave it back to Frodo. Does that seem important to the story to you? Who is he? Who is Tom Bombadil? That is like one of the biggest mysteries of that book, in my opinion, that they didn't even touch, not even in the extended editions. So, fuck your Peter Jackson worship. Like, this is the thing, is like these are Peter Jackson created Tolkien fans going, "This isn't the thing we like. We don't know we like this yet. It's scary. It's scary to like new things." Quit being retarded. Okay? I was skeptical too because of all the shit they said. Like, they were saying all the right shit for this to be Star Wars 2.0. And like, it still could go there, I guess, but I'm enjoying it thus far, and I did not expect to at all. The dwarves I found particularly delightful. Um, Half of my like problem in life is I learned how to read by reading the Oxford Encyclopedia of World War II or something like that, and the Cimmerillion. I got a vocabulary. Anyway, it really cracked me up that she really didn't get any of this. That like this is a story that they're setting this up correctly for once. Hollywood is doing something fucking right. Really. Like I am watching these reviews of this from people that like typically hate the kind of stuff that I hate, and they're just all going, "This is horrible." I'm like, "Sorry, you apparently are just a Nazi." Okay, not really a Nazi, but like there's some of this that I have values different than most of my friends, so maybe that's why I like this, and I'm guessing they don't. I haven't spoken to any of them in months because, so who cares? I like this show. It's fucking good. I cannot wait for the next episode. I think Galadriel is one of the best parts of it. I can't remember if it's Celebrimbor or not that she is with in Lothlorien. She's with somebody there, and I think it might have been Celebrimbor. And if so, they cast really old on him, at least compared to Peter Jackson. We don't really have anything to go off of what Celebrimbor looks like much other than that. Which really, I think if you're making this, you should be making it knowing that like people like me are watching this as a sequel. We wanted to see the rest of the stories. Make it that. You know, Peter Jackson altered Tolkien's universe quite a bit. If you can do that too, and do it in a good way, and keep it in the spirit of the Lord of the Rings, and introduce all of this stuff from Unfinished Tales and the Cimmerillion that you're doing, it's great. And it looks like they're saving the rights to the Cimmerillion. I think the Tolkien estate, let them do this. Like, we agreed to do this. We won't agree to exactly what it is because we'll give it away, but you can tell these stories. We'll see how people think of you. And if you're good, then you get to tell the Cimmerillion. Because, like, in my mind, the Cimmerillion is the honey hole of all honey hole stories. If you're going to tell the whole thing, especially Jesus Christ, I don't know how you tell it. It would be like the Gone with the Wind of our time. I would love to see that put to film. And the fact that I'm getting tastes of it in this, it's like, especially, this is my favorite part of the Cimmerillion, was the part that they're doing right here, the War of the Ring kind of shit. And the forging of the Rings of Power and the War of the Ring were like two different sections or chapters. I don't remember in the Cimmerillion. I need to fucking reread it again. I've been listening to it on YouTube because it's on an audio book or whatever on there. And I don't know, it's hard to keep it straight then. Like, you get the story details better, but you don't get chapters and which one is in which book and shit, because like you're baked as shit listening to 18 hours of audio on a loop, just pausing it and then working or doing whatever and then coming back the next night and continue. At least that's how I listen to that book, which is how you should probably listen to that book. It's just a suggestion. Also, get the names straight, know who they are, know who they're talking about, have like a phone with Loaderpedia, whatever it is, on it, and maybe a whiteboard, like a decent sized whiteboard to write down names and like who they are, like Feanor made Cimarrols, or Fingolfin killed Balrogs, came back from the dead, like, and on, like, it just keeps going. There's several people where like I can't wait to see them on screen. I hope they cast better for the First Age stuff in particular, and for the later this stuff, because like this is like Fellowship of the Ring slow burn, which I love Fellowship of the Ring, and this series needs a good slow burn to it. You can't just jump into whatever. That's what's pissing a lot of people off, is everybody liked The Return of the King. A lot of people liked Two Towers. Why'd they like that? Because everybody likes dessert. Well, this is vegetables. Sorry, you have to eat your vegetables before you can fucking eat dessert. Guess that's, I'm your transgender mother teaching you this about literature. That like the end of the book is much sweeter when you have all of this other story to build details. That's how you get callback jokes and everything else. That's how you get foreshadowing. It's good storytelling is what they're doing. Leave these people alone. Leave my elevator alone. See you guys later.